2025 is going to be a huge year for new low-cost Apple devices showing up at the various Apple events we're expecting this year, according to Mark Gurman, who's of course the most reliable Apple leaker out there. So this is very exciting for anyone who loves budget Apple products, because apparently a couple of these new devices are going to be so much better than we previously expected. So let me get started with the one that surprised me the most, the iPad 11. This new iPad is coming at Apple's upcoming spring event, which usually happens in either March or April. But this is going to be a really big deal for value lovers, because we were expecting this to come with the A16 chip, because the current one has the A14, so Apple usually kind of skips a chip generation when they upgrade this budget iPad. But according to Mark Gurman, Apple is going all the way to the A17 Pro chip, which is absolutely insane. They're skipping both the A15 and 16. That means that this is going to be on par in terms of performance with the new iPad mini 7 that recently came out that also has the A17 Pro chip. And that's really weird, because the iPad mini usually had better performance than the basic iPad. So Apple is seemingly focused on value this year, which is great for us consumers. I thought it would be the A16 because Apple would want you to spend more money to get Apple Silicon by buying the more expensive iPads, but no, this is also getting Apple Silicon with that A17 Pro chip. Now, one thing that is even better about that chip is that it comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is literally double of what you get in the current budget iPad 10, which has 4 gigabytes. That by itself is going to be a huge productivity improvement for the basic iPad. And it essentially makes it a pro-level iPad for the first time ever at a great price. I'm honestly expecting the price to stay the same, $349, which is awesome. Now moving on to the next product, number 2, we have the iPad Air. Now this one's gonna come at the same time as the iPad 11, but Apple is apparently also giving that iPad a better chip than we expected, since all of us thought that it would naturally get upgraded from the M2 to the M3 so that it still kind of stays less powerful than that crazy iPad Pro. But no, Mark Gurman just came out and said he thinks it's also getting the M4 chip, so there won't be any difference in terms of performance between the two, which is just nuts. But I guess if you think about it, a couple of years back, the iPad Air got the M1 chip a few months after the iPad Pro got it, and the extra features of the Pro, like the 120Hz beautiful tandem OLED display, do help justify the extra price. So there you go, the iPad Air, another more budget-friendly option that we're getting this year with the powerful M4 chip. And that of course brings us to the third product, which is the M4 MacBook Air. Once again, the M4 chip is coming to the least expensive MacBook Air with basically more than enough performance than most people need. I mean, the performance on that thing is insane, and Apple decided on a major value boost going into 2025 when they updated the MacBook Pro M4 with 16 gigs of base RAM, which is absolutely awesome, and they also gave it to the rest of the MacBook Airs. And this new MacBook Air update with the M4 chip is actually coming potentially as soon as later this month, which is very exciting, and it's likely going to be the best value MacBook of all time, seeing as all of these amazing updates are coinciding at the same time, like the powerful M4 chip, the 16 gigs of base RAM, and likely the same starting price of $1,099, which is a killer value for everything you get. I think nobody would regret buying that new MacBook Air when it comes out, because it's insanely powerful. Now moving on to product number 4, we have the iPhone SE 4. That's also coming this spring, likely alongside those iPads. Now, interestingly, we've had some weird rumors that said this might actually be called the iPhone 16e, as Apple might be trying to have more favorable branding to make it seem like it's part of the iPhone 16 lineup, which could by itself add extra value alone. And based on its feature set, it's gonna be by far the best value budget iPhone of all time as well, which we're having a lot of crazy best of all time values this year. It's gonna come with a full redesign, which finally gets rid of that home button and the old square crappy LCD display with a brand new edge-to-edge OLED display with Face ID built in and a bunch of higher end features like that new 48 megapixel camera. It's pretty much gonna be a great value option for anybody looking to get a nice and new modern iPhone, but not trying to drop close to $1,000 to get one. This one should be coming in at around $500 or even less, which is definitely going to disrupt the Android budget phone market, seeing as you can get a new iPhone for such a great price. Now for number 5, we have the Apple Watch SE. Now, we were expecting to get this new Apple Watch last year alongside that new Apple Watch Series 10, but it was nowhere to be found. It looks like Apple decided to hold off for another year, potentially to make it an even better value. Now, Mark Gurman just came out and said this new Apple Watch SE is going to have a new look to it. Now, he didn't specify what he means, but it could be making it thinner, potential redesign. But the one thing he did mention before was that it's supposed to follow in the footsteps of the iPhone 5C from a decade ago, which came with a bunch of fun colors with a plastic design for a great price. Now that would definitely lower the cost of the SE, potentially as low as $199, which is just insane value for a new modern Apple Watch, and Apple might even upgrade the chip compared to the current SE, as well as a bunch of the other features and the wireless specs and everything else. So once again, another great and exciting budget Apple product to look forward to. And now for number 6 and 7, Mark Gurman just gave us an update on the new Apple TV that's supposed to come out alongside the HomePod Mini 2, saying they're both now expected to come towards the end of the year, which to me signals an October or November launch, since they don't really make sense alongside the new iPhones in terms of launch date, so likely the fall event. Now, first I'm going to talk about the TV because I'm really excited for this, because for the first time ever, we're getting some rumors specifically from Ming-Chi Kuo that Apple's going to try to give us a budget TV that's around $99 or less, which could signal that Apple is making a Apple TV stick for the first time ever compared to a regular design. This is exactly what I'm personally waiting for, because I don't feel like I need the extra high performance of the Apple TV 4K for gaming or stuff like that, because I just want to run my streaming apps like Apple TV Plus and Netflix and whatever without having all those super annoying ads that you get with other streaming devices like the Amazon Fire TV stick, which is starting to get really annoying on my projector. So getting a TV stick for $99 or less is great for so many budget conscious buyers out there who just want to buy something to stream their shows on their TV and have it be reliable with no ads. And now finally we have number 7, the HomePod Mini 2. Now with this new device, we're not expecting any dramatic changes like a full redesign or like a size change. It should still look the same, but Apple is likely going to upgrade the speakers to make the sound quality be better. Maybe they're going to give some new color options, and definitely upgrades to the performance in terms of like the chip and the software capability with better wireless specs and features and new software as well. So the HomePod Mini 2 is going to be a very simple update, but I'm still excited for it because I'm using the original one and I'm loving it in my kitchen. It still works great. Other than those products, we're also expecting the new AirTags 2, which we don't really have much to say about them. They're a budget device for tracking. It works great. It's amazing. Apple's just going to update it with some new wireless specs, like updated ultra wideband and other new features. We were also expecting the new Apple Command Center, which is basically like a HomePod device with a built-in display for controlling your smart home devices, but that is apparently getting delayed until next year, so I'm excited to see what happens with that device, and I can't wait to use it. But as you can see from this updated list of budget products, especially the new Mac Mini that just came out for $600, Apple is starting to give us more value than ever before, which might be due to a drop in sales, forcing Apple to sweeten the deal on all of their products, But if so, that is great news for all of us consumers, especially with updates like 16 gigs of base RAM for the same price, which has already made the M4 MacBook Pro so good and hard to compete with. So with that said, let me know your thoughts and the budget product that you're most excited for down in the comment section below, and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.